Oh gosh, IWER finish this song now.
It's about that time now we mash up the place and give the people what them want. So when the big truck come down and the people in town, it's like the first time I play in mass. So don't focus on what he say, don't focus on what she say. Just keep focus on IWER. Listen what KMC say. When IWER said to jump up, when IWER said to wake up, KMC said to jump up and wave up and jump up and wave up.
Mash up the place, one more time, come on, mash up the place. Shall on the place, place. If I had one wish, just mash up the place, one more time, come on, mash up the place. It's what on the place, I'm what on the place. I want to live. Move to the left, move to the left, move to the left, move down, move to the right, move to the right, move to the right, move down, run to the back, run to the back, run to the back, run down, come to the front line.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world, the Street919FM.com. Entertainment, information, conversation, all on Street 91.9 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
I'm at a happy place in my life every living day. Happy place in my life every living day. A happy place in my life every living day. I'm at a happy place in my life, and it can't change. And I just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, I will never, ever change. I'm at a happy place everywhere I go. I'm at a happy place, never, ever change. I'm at a happy place everywhere I go. I'm at a happy place. So when you see me rocking with my friends, it's just a love, it's just a vibes on the ends. And when you see me rocking by myself, tell them it's no false pretense, so me tell them. And when you see the liquor in me head, we live my life like it's no problem. And anybody want to fight with me, tell them we only a love for them. That's why I will never, ever change. I'm a happy place everywhere I go. I'm a happy place, never, ever change. I'm a happy place everywhere I go. I'm a happy place. Fucking ding dong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ha na 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 na. Ha na 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 na. Ha na 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 If you know you cannot handle the people rum, when you see the people rum, leave it alone. Yeah, what I tell you? When you see them gyal and them rolling up them bam bam, if you can't manage, leave them alone. Stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Back in your crease, back in your crease. Stay in your zone, stay in your zone. Leave it alone. Yeah, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Back in your crease, back in your crease. Stay in your zone, stay in your zone. Leave it alone. Yeah, leave rum for the professionals. For the professionals, leave drinking for the professionals. For the professionals, I love see them girls with the big bam bam when they rolling it. Micro party hard, getting on bad. If you can't keep up, then leave it alone. Na 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 na. Boy boy. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Boy boy. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Keisha, come down, Stacy, come down. I don't want to leave you on top that horse. I need you to come down here for me now. She only claiming she rocking with boss, but what's on the hunt to take back the cow? She thinks she too nice. She don't link with man with no drive. Come down from there, baby. Come down from there, baby. Take me through with advice. Them girl wrong, they not nice. Come down from there, baby. Come down from there, baby. I just want to warn you before you mixing with the concern you. You walk voodoo just to thief people, man. Now the people, man, them to warrior. On the IG post, you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. A zillion long tongue, ring one tongue. Girl, you know every song when you can't boil rice. She thinks she too nice. She will link with man with no drive. Come down from there, baby. Come down from there, baby. Take me through with advice. Them girl wrong.
Give me a nice. Super you, yeah. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal. 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 You know it's carnival. Bamboo man will give me some jam. Truck man, why you driving so fast? So bamboo sharing like side no farm. Water spraying all in the band. I cannot like fighting for land. Look, alcohol in my hand. Supervisor turn holly. I say bamboo gal. Take bamboo gal. Take bamboo ride it 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 gal. Baby, why you looking at he? Just come throw that bumper on me. She just rolling up she waistline. She want bamboo to touch she need. Yeah, baby, bamboo all in the road. After that girl be going home. Everybody moving in time. Bamboo right in the Congo line. Take bamboo girl. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Yeah. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Yeah. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal. 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 Back on the bamboo, gal. After that, you're looking for jam. Find a gal with a big bam bam. You don't care if she have a man. Even if she inside the band, security don't push back my hand. Outside the road, back on me for jam. And right now, I just don't give a damn. Take bamboo, gal. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Yeah. Push back, baby. Push back on the bamboo, baby. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal. Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, ride it, gal.
Is my sponsor. Oh, and as long as I'm up. No time for no anger. I'm smiling with me hands up. Hey, what they calling me? Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world.
Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, 'cause I ever happy. Yeah. Stress for what? No. Vex for what? No. Rest for what? No. Nothing can get to me. Fret for what? No. We bet for what?
Entertainment.
Upset for what? No. Nothing can get to me.
Real.
I don't have no problems. Any issue that I face, I let the Almighty solve them. Life too sweet, I can't complain. The only constant is the change, and we go touch the road again. So as long as you call my name, then I will answer. I'm a happy camper, and love is my sponsor. Oh, and as long as I'm man of life, then I will dance up. No time for no anger. I'm smiling with me hands up. Hey, what they calling me? Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi. Yeah, what they calling me? Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, 'cause I ever happy. Yeah. Fight for what? No. Fight for what? No. Ignite for what? No. Nothing can get to me. Fight for what? No. Life for what? No. None of them can take my peace, them can take my power. No. Find me on the hilltop, well composed and the intact.
Street 91.9FM.com. The official station that defends the nation.
Dogs in the sky, everything shot. Enough hot girls wanna fling back. Wife, you wanna give me the ring back. But as long as you call my name, then I will answer. I'm a happy camper, and love is my sponsor. Oh, and as long as I'm man of life, then I will dance up. No time for no anger. I'm smiling with me hands up. Hey, what they calling me? Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi. Yeah, what they calling me? Mr. Happy Papi, Mr. Happy Papi, 'cause I ever happy. Yeah.
Dealing with current issues in society.
If we could only get, as I've said repeatedly, the sort of attitude that the population as a whole has to the entire carnival celebrations, if you could have that throughout the Trinidad and Tobago, which is the richest country in the world.
The official station that defends the nation. The Street 91 FM.
The Street 919 FM wishes to advise that contrary to rumors circulating on social media that IWER George's event Carnival Comeback, carded for 5 p.m. today at the Queen's Park Savannah, is being advertised as a street parade. The National Carnival Commission issued a statement saying that all safety protocols have been adhered to concerning the concert, not a street parade. Via a public statement, the National Carnival Commission of Trinidad and Tobago states that it wishes to advise the public of its ongoing commitment to comply with all government's official directives and public health COVID-19 guidelines as they relate to events staged at the Carnival City, Queen's Park, Savannah. To that end, in debunking any social media hype of an authorized street parade rumored to be scheduled for after this evening's concert, the Commission wishes to advise the public that it has every expectation of safe and responsible behavior before, during, and after Neil IWER George's concert, which is confirmed for 5 p.m. today, Monday, February 28th, at the Grand Stand, Queen's Park, Savannah. To that end, all of the Commission's compliance resources will be on full alert in order to ensure the safety and security of all patrons. The statement continued, in working closely with Mr. George, the Commission again seeks to make it clear to all members of the public that all compliance protocols have been agreed upon and today's events will operate responsibly and within all official health and safety perimeters. The NCC wishes Mr. George and all the patrons attending today's show a successful, safe, and memorable experience as our guests at Carnival City.
Never a dull moment in Trinidad and Tobago. So today is my boss concert, and as you just heard, there's so many fake news and rumors that are going on out there where this event is concerned. So you just heard the disclaimer. You heard that there's no street parade, right? No street parade, but you know there's a concert with the boss, IWER George, today, and you know people are trying to make it out to what it's not. So don't study the rumors. The rumors will always be there to try to the detractors will always tend to try to show their ugly faces. All right, so as I just said to you, so there's no street parade. There's no such thing that's going to happen, right? And my boss just want to let you all know that, you know, it's going to be safe, and it's going to be one of IWER George's concerts that you will not forget. That's what he said to tell you guys. So all the misinformation out there, please don't allow it to stop you, or don't allow it to, you know, fool with your head. All right? So today I promised you guys that I would have a guest in studio with me, and she is here with me. If you join me on Facebook and on YouTube, you're going to see a lovely lady in studio, beautiful lady that you know, I call her auntie. Yes, she's here today to talk about, well, you know, last month, well, this is the last day of, the last of the month of February, and February was considered to be the Black History Month. All right, Black History Month, and today I would have invited her to come to share some of her wealth of information and knowledge that she has on the Americans. All right, they would have settled in Moruga, in the companies, you know, first, second, third, fourth. I'm trying to just watching my auntie. You could introduce yourself. You know, this is the Street 919 FM. Welcome to the Street 919 FM, where we try to educate and inform our listeners. And I invited you because I know you have a wealth of knowledge where the Americans are concerned. You see what the Americans could produce? See what the Americans produce? Good-looking people. I'm proud. I'm a proud American. Auntie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Auntie, why are you talking to me so? Come to lighten up now. You're on the street.
Carnival Monday.
Well, you want to talk about you're going in the savannah later?
No, I wouldn't.
Auntie, come a little closer to the microphone, please, and talk to the nation. Right. Will you be at the savannah later, Auntie?
No, I would not be at the savannah later.
You should not say that, you know, because my boss will come and deal with you.
But I'll be supporting in spirit.
Okay. All right. I hear you. So you were invited by your nephew to talk about the history of the Americans. You want to first tell the people who you are.
Well, my name is Lisa Atwater, proud American like yourself. My original ancestor's name was Sable Atwater.
Okay.
And he was recruited from the eastern seaboard of the United States to fight in the War of 1812. Sable, together with 574 men, women, and children who were settled in Moruga. 574 men, women, and children.
Okay.
The men would have made up the core of the colonial Marines.
Okay.
Were settled in Moruga in August 1816. Sable had Leonis. Leonis had Wilkinson.
Right.
Wilkinson had Dulvey.
Right.
Dulvey had Carroll. And Carroll had me.
Show off now. Show off now. Yeah, your whole lineage jump back. Where I fit in the whole scheme of things.
Well,
the whole scheme of things, Auntie, you had to tell me where I fit in. But I like how you know your history. I like how you know your history. You know where you come from. And we were talking off air, and you were sharing some other stuff with me that we'll get into later on. But the journey, do you have any history about the journey? Because we know that they would have traveled on the sea. Anybody would have lost their life on the way.
I do not have that information.
Right.
I know that they started off as runaway slaves from various plantations, whether it was Georgia, Virginia, Maryland, as far south as Spanish Florida. And they were running out for their freedom. So I consider my ancestors freedom fighters in the first state. They did not choose to accept slavery. They could have, but they wanted more. So they were Maroons, because a Maroon is a runaway slave.
Yeah.
They left their plantation.
Yeah.
They were enticed to join the war effort of the British. The British were fighting against the Americans in 1812. The little history behind that is that America was originally a British colony who gained her independence in 1776. But as far as the 1800s and certainly by 1812, Britain had not given up. She wanted her territories back. So she encouraged the ex-slaves to join her war effort. Of course, Britain lost the war on American soil, and she had to find somewhere to put these people. We are keeping in mind that slavery was in existence in America. Slavery ended in America in 1865, and it was certainly in existence in Trinidad and Tobago, or the British Caribbean, Spanish, French Caribbean, in 1812. So my ancestors, besides being freedom fighters, they would have been pioneers, coming to Trinidad as settlers, as free black men and women during slavery. Because we were still experiencing slavery in this part of the world. Slavery, full slavery came in 1838, and here you had
some free people
who were slaves, who the British had war armed. So when you give a man a weapon, you can't tell him that he has to go back to being a slave. At the time, Governor Woodford, for whom Woodford Square's name was our governor, and he himself was looking to populate the island and to a greater extent Anglicanize the island, because Trinidad was Spanish up to 1797. So this is less than 20 years afterwards that we are trying to make sure that Trinidad move away from its Spanish heritage, at least that was the British intention, and Anglicanize the country. In terms of language, in terms of religion, and to a lesser extent too in terms of population. Ideally, I would think that they would have preferred a different race, but it was what it was, and the British embraced the policy of the Spanish, where the cellular of population was concerned, where they were trying to populate the country. So, August 1816, this year would be 206 years of American presence in this country. We found a new set of people arriving in Trinidad and being placed in virgin territory on the Moruga Road, off of Princestown, which would have been called Mission back then. Princestown had not changed its name as yet. Princestown only became Princestown in 1880, and we are talking 1816. So, trailblazers, pioneers, freedom fighters, and the list could go on and on. The interesting thing about the settlement is that colonial authority was aware of the fact that these people were slaves, and perhaps they can encourage other enslaved Africans in Trinidad at the time to run away from the various plantations, hence the reason to put them in an isolated area, virgin territory, off of Princestown. And 206 years afterwards, the descendants of those people, a lot of them still live in the area. Some names, some village names may have changed because where first company settled is now called Hindustan. Second company is Pitti Cafe. Many people for many years thought that second company had been lost at sea. That's not the case. Third company is Indian Walk on the Moruga Road, and the Indian Walk got its name because of the fact that Wahoon Indians from Venezuela used to land in Guashime, and go to Mission and even to San Fernando Hill, which they considered sacred. So they would make that trek from Muruga to Princeton, and along the road that part of the track is called Indian Walk.
Okay.
Fort Companies in hard bargain area.
Right.
Hard bargain, the settlers complained about the quality of the land. They said they got a hard bargain, and some of them then moved to New Grant.
Right.
So that's the history behind New Grant's name.
Right.
Fifth Company has retained its original name, and Sixth Company original name.
Wow.
And I am from Fifth Company.
From Fifth Company.
Yes, my ancestor came in Fifth Company.
Right.
Battalion.
When we come back, you'll talk about the history being capsuled in a books that people can go to and get the history. So we're going for a break, John. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about where you could find this information, and also we get a little more into the land and some other stuff that I have some questions to ask. So we're going for a break, and when we come back after the break, we're going to continue to go more into the discussion here on the Street 99 FM. Auntie, you ever hear this song? Tell me if you ever hear this song.
And walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Hallelujah. Who can stand against the Lord? No one can. No one will. Who can stand against the King? No one can, no one will. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Say, who can stand? Who can stand against the Lord? No one can. No one can. No one will. Yeah. Say, who can stand? Who can stand against the Lord? No one can. No one can. No one. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Yeah. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Yeah. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs. Victory belongs. Victory belongs to Him. Victory belongs to Him.
Introducing the new and improved Digicel Plus Smart Home. Complete home control right from your phone. Enjoy amazing upgrades, new stylish design, and easier to install wireless cameras. Automatic home and away arming and disarming. One-touch home automations. Easily integrate with Google, Alexa, or Apple. And full-color night vision. Sign up now for 50% off installation and 20% off for 6 months. Get smart home now at digicelgroup.com. Digicel, better together.
Season 22. Defend we culture.
Drop your keys and bow your knees, for I am the notorious midnight robber.
February 22nd to 28th.
I am here to defend my culture.
Season 22.
I am here to introduce you to season 22.
Defend we music.
We have soca, we have pop, we have calypso, we even have the doubles man.
Sound Forge. Culture lives on.
To make sure my culture lives and not just survive.
Season 22, February 22nd to 28th at Sound
The
Forge.
spirit must live on.
Carnival, come back. Me say you wake up in the morning and you just realize Carnival come back again. Alright, maybe that isn't 100% true, but hear this. TSB and T-Dot Sided alongside IWER George presents Carnival Come Back.
Take bamboo, gal. Take bamboo, riding, gal.
Carnival Monday, not good again. This is IWER George, a big boss of business. Carnival Monday, the 28th, 3 p.m. Queen's Park Savannah. Carnival Come Back.
3 p.m. Carnival Monday, Queen's Park Savannah. People, young brother, I'm gonna be there live and live DJ until we come into.
Shake it properly.
People, you need vaccination on entry.
Come out in your Monday wear. Come out with your team from 3 p.m. till. Get your female tickets started at $220 and male tickets at $250 with food inclusive. Get those tickets online at suntix.com. Also, book your cabanas. $2,000 for groups of 9 with coolers and food inclusive. All this happening at the Queen's Park Savannah. Carnival Hub.
Trees again. I go drink blue water and mind my business. I go drink blue water and mind my business. Who me? I only drink one brand. Blue water inside the house and the brand. When I need to hydrate, I drink blue water. I'm feeling great. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue water. That's the #1 brand. Drink blue water and mind my business. I go drink blue water. Me and you join in the blue water crew. The taste, the vibe, blue water is the truth. When the hot sun come, I drink blue water to cool me down. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue water. That's the #1. I drink blue water and mind my business.
Every Friday, it's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays with MC Duke and Selector Kochi from 6 straight to 9 p.m. blazing all the latest and past soca hits. So remember, make it a line, make it a day, rock and come in, you know. It's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays on the Street 919 FM. You don't know.
If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as nano silver, nano zinc, body light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108.
Join Nicole Huggins for Health and Wealth Lifestyle every Monday from 9:05 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. right here on the Street 919 FM.
Shop at New City Mall and check out our premium selection of high-quality clothing and accessories for men and women. Save on all items with competitive prices and courteous service throughout the entire mall. New City Mall is located in the heart of Port of Spain with entrances at 3 Charlotte Street and number 41 Independence Square. We offer a variety of shirts, long and short sleeve, round and V-neck tops, vests, caps, hats, sunglasses, briefs, boxers, shorts, swim trunks, denim, jeans, long and 3/4, socks, sneakers, casual and athletic, shoes, dressy and fashionable, dresses, formal and casual, skirts, lingerie, undergarments, and a wide range of accessories. Come check us out, as we also have clothing and accessories like Levi's, Clarks, Armani Exchange, Hollister, American Eagle, Ralph Lauren, Nike Air Force and Air Max, Puma, Adidas, Timberland, Academics, Aeropostale, Old Navy, Forever 21, Hanes, Dockers, Guess, Converse, and so much more. We have barbers, hairstylists, as well as weave and wigs on sale. All at New City Mall. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Sale, sale, sale.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko, Sangre Grande, is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guest. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Friday night, Sunday Ministry of Worship, Children Hour, and the Word from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And Friday night, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All night prayer for our nation. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org or on Facebook. Email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated at Church of the Firstborn Assembly, account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
To the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters.
All right, so we're back with you, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you joining us on Facebook and on YouTube. I know that you all are enjoying the conversation. Remember, you can share the live, be a part of the conversation. Come on to the Street 919 FM Facebook page and on IWER TV on YouTube, and you're going to see my guest in studio. Yes, you're going to see my guests in studio, and we're talking African history. We're talking Americans in specific, and to be specific, and also we are giving you a lot of information that a lot of people don't know. So I need you to come onto Facebook, all right? I don't like how my number's looking on Facebook at all. Come onto Facebook and let's talk. Some of you might be very much surprised, of some of the information that you're about to hear right here, because we were looking at earlier on this morning, we were looking at some information coming out of Ukraine, and I know that you saw it, Auntie, the video? Wow. How you felt when you saw it?
It's a whole other discussion.
Right, I know. And I was playing the music for you of a video, of a movie that I am recommending that you have to look at, because it may just help you with your history, or with our history.
I'm familiar with Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, but I never got around to watching it.
You need to watch it. I think the reading of the book, but watching the movie of itself would bring a different perspective of your history, of our history. Seriously. Because, she was... Boy, you don't watch the movie.
No, I
don't watch the movie.
At UWE, we had a course called, when we looked at American history, we also had a course that focused on African American women and the role they would have played in slavery. So I as I said, I'm familiar with her and what she did.
Yeah.
How she was guided.
Yeah, she was guided. Oh,
Trailblazer again.
Yeah, when people would say, "Hello, God, need to watch that movie, you'll understand it," But what I wanted to talk about, we were talking before we went for the break about the information. How could you get the information of this rich history of the Americans?
Well, fortunately for us, quite a few descendants have taken it upon themselves to do some work. One of the pioneers in this area would be John Milton Hackshaw.
Right.
Very early on, he wrote Two Among Many. That's the story of Amphi and Bashana Jackson, where they trace their family lineage. He also wrote the Baptist religion in Trinidad and Tobago. Then we had Alfred Boise Huggins, who did Saga of the Companies. The latest edition is out. And he spent a lot of time looking at the socio-cultural aspect of the company villages. We have John Wise, some people say Wise, who was married to a Macnish. In fact, he even took up her last name. He wrote Free Black American Settlers. In that particular book, he gives you information about where our ancestors would have been recruited from, what company they belong to, their arrival in Trinidad, their land lot allocation. So that's pretty comprehensive. One of the latest pieces of work would be Slave Soldiers and Saints by Reverend Cadet. And he too did a very good job at capturing our history. Of course, there are other things. I have been cited because of my work on land tenure and social mobility in company villages, which was my undergraduate thesis at UWE. So there's literature out there. In addition, the Heritage Library and the National Archives and UWE, they too have devoted time and energy to building American collection. So we have literature, and we also have organizations that seek to promote American identity, American story, and our rich legacy. So
if somebody wants to do their history or their lineage, would you be able to help them along those lines, or guide them to where they can go to find?
A lot of people reach out. In a lot of instances, I tell people, especially if their families were Baptists and have been Baptist over the years, or even if they didn't stay as Baptist but move on to other religions, that church history is a very, very good place to start. Churches record christenings and by extension births, weddings, and certainly death. So church history is very, very rich. I have spent time looking at tombstones in Third Company Baptist Church on the Moraga Road and at Mount Elvin, Hindustan. And if you pay attention, tombstones will tell you something too. And sometimes you have several generations being buried in one tombstone, so that's a good start. I remember when I was doing my research and I went to some of the local pastors in the area, and they brought out their church records, death certificate and marriage certificate, going way, way, way back, and cause of death may have been heart attack and heart attack and heart attack. But that's a start, and that's a good start. Certainly, if we spend time on the oral tradition, nowadays we talk about having access to information and thinking that Google is the only thing. It isn't. Talk to the elders in your community. I had the privilege of interviewing people like, let's say, Anne Saunders Missett, and she died over at probably close to 100. I had Oriana Phillip, who was past 100. There are many people in the villages who can speak to you, and it is important that we record what they have to say. Our story has survived because of the oral tradition, and probably we need to spend time talking to each other a lot more than just the device in our hand. That's a good starting point.
I hear you with the history and talking to the elders, and you talk about the church history. You know the Cummins, right?
Yes.
Cummins and... Yeah, Grandpa died at about 102 or something like that.
From New Grant?
Yeah,
Monkey Tongue Branch Road.
Yeah. Grandpa died at 102, and I remember talking to Grandpa about the history, you know, and he had a well of history, you know. But I want to find out about the lands. The lands in Moruga, and in the how, because you know you gave a slight little explanation about hardbacking and these things. Does black people still own these lands in those areas?
If not with proper titles, they're certainly occupying it. The interesting thing is, we had, when you look at the list of original settlers and their names, if you were to visit the warden office and look at assessment rolls for the area or cadastral plans, the Townsend survey in Port of Spain here, you will find original settlers' names still on a lot of those documents.
Okay.
Original settlers. Yeah, there are instances, there have been many instances where lands would have changed hands for one reason or another. So I believe that some people probably sold their lands by just a receipt and never doing a proper transfer of title. So we have examples of that, and we also have examples, lots of examples, of people who have held on to their 16 acres of what they term bloodland. Some people call it bloodland, some people call it family land, some people say miners' property. We have different terms that people use to describe what it is they own and what they occupy. Perhaps we need members of the community to make sure they regularize their status.
Right.
Some people have and other people haven't. If you're from the villages, you hear people saying, or adults say, I know my piece of land is secure, probably a backlot somewhere. That because they know historically that their families have been on the land for generations and generations.
Right.
So that's what you have happening.
Okay. I know that we were talking off air about some of them would have migrated from New Grant to the city.
They would have migrated from any one of the villages to other places. In Marak, which is, do you know where Marak is? At the end of Moraga.
Right.
You have a lot of Americans there. That meant they would have left the company villages and moved to Marak, moved even further inland for whatever reason. Migration would have taken place in and out, as is natural in any community. So that's what happened too. Wow. And you had people coming in. Keep in mind that the communities would have been existing on the outskirts of some plantations. Princestown, which is not too far, had many plantations. The names that we use today, if you say Quagnich Village, Princestown, Fairfield, Matilda, Lothians, they were all sugar plantations. And Americans or their descendants would have moved or at least visited those other areas in terms of seeking employment. So you would have had migration in all instances.
Right. So, for anyone who listening and you are intrigued and you are, kind of, it piqued your interest to find out more about the Americans and to find out more about this rich history, and if you are descendant from the Americans and stuff like that, I hope that you do. I want to give them the books again, some of the information you would have shared, where they can go to check.
Okay,
this rich history.
I started off with John Hackshaw's Two Among Many and the Baptist Religion. Saga of the Companies by Boise Huggins, Alfred Boise Huggins, and that is available right now at RIK bookstore. Slave Soldiers and Saints by Reverend Cadet. I know that's available online also. So Free Black American Settlers. So those are some, and I can leave the list with you.
Yes.
And of course, for those who want to go spend some time in the National Archives, make a request and sit down and browse through what they have to offer. Same thing with Heritage Library.
Wow. Young people in the companies, are they aware of their history? And you think you could, and we know you're a young lady, you're young.
In addition to being a young lady, I'm also a teacher. So any child passing through my hand, you're going to certainly hear. And when I go to a class, when I start off my classes, I usually ask my children to tell me their last names. And if you tell me you're Huggins, you are Hamilton, you are Teasdale, you are Cooper, you are Macnish, you are Bobcom, you are Atwater, then I tell you, we probably related.
Okay.
Because I am Atwater and I am from Mandingo Road. I'm not ashamed to say where I'm from. In fact, I'm proud of my heritage.
Yes.
My heritage has made me who I am. I say all the times that I'm 1,000 pieces of my ancestors and 1,000 pieces of our history.
Yeah.
It has made me who I am, so I share that everywhere, all the time.
So, Auntie, based on that statement that you have just made, you have represented Americans all over the world.
You could just say I've represented Americans in our community and wherever the diaspora is. I've been fortunate enough to do work with awesome people. In 2012, the American Embassy, through Ambassador Beatrice Walters, decided to share the American story, and that's where the first documentary came out. And since then, we have been advocating and sharing our heritage. 2015, myself and Akila Jaramuji and some others from across the Caribbean, we attended Indigenous People Forum, United Nations. In fact, a team is getting ready to go again this year to explore our history and to even look at Indigenous people status, because one of the things about Indigenous people is what you have been able to hold on to. And Americans, there are some aspects, some members of the American community who we might be in 2022, but we have managed to hold on to our collective memory of the African homeland.
Okay.
We've been able to, there are some things that we've nurtured. Moruga Hill Rice will be a perfect example.
Yes.
Americans are responsible for bringing what you call Creole rice or Moruga Hill Rice, introducing it to this part of the world. And that, some people like to say delicacy because it's probably a little more expensive than the local rice that you will find in the grocery, but it's also more nutritious. That is a perfect example of holding on to your heritage and being able to plant food that you can feed yourself with. To me, the hallmark of any civilization is that you must be able to feed yourself. So agricultural practices and using your land to help sustain you, it's very important. If we haven't done anything about being in a pandemic or out of this pandemic experience, is that we should have options. And certainly, option to feed yourself so that you do not have to depend on others in a big way is a plus for any community. I live Princetown, I work Moruga, and when I'm going to work or coming back on the road, I feel gratified to see people selling one thing or the other, whether it's a hill rice or bananas or citrus. That's stuff that they would have planted in their backyard, that they are producing, feeding themselves, and have something to sell. To me, that's a sense of empowerment.
Wow. That's really good, and I'm really glad that you'd have come and share some of the information with Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sure that somebody has been able to sit and realize that this rich history, before I started to take some calls and play some voice notes, I wanted to ask you about so we have reached a place now where people will be wondering about if you all are part of the grid. I know that there's this talk about repatriation, and I don't know if you all are a part of those discussions.
Repatriation is certainly in the air.
Right.
It's on people's minds. People think, let me speak on my behalf. Let me say that when I think repatriation, I don't just think money. I think investment in communities. I think of investment in schools, investment in our human capital, because we have the Trinidad and Tobago history is one of slavery and indentureship and colonialism. However, now is the time for more investment in building our people skills and our people resources, and for providing avenues where individuals and by extension communities and families could become more empowered. I am for empowerment so that you do not have to rely on the state. I am for facilitating that level of empowerment where people can take care of themselves. So when I think repatriation, that's what I think. I think about investment in our human capital by terms of better educational opportunities, better quality schools, by having curriculum that serves our needs, that by building on skill training. Those are the things that I think of when I think of repatriation.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. All right. I think I want to open up the phone lines a little bit. Let's get the people in. Let's hear what they have to say. Play some voice notes. All right. On 771-1791, 466-5391. And you can call us on 342-0081 and get your voices inside. Hello, good afternoon.
afternoon, Pastor.
Aye.
I'm a listener. I'm from Moruga.
Yes.
I'm born in Moruga. Yes, I'm born in Moruga, but I did not grow up in Moruga.
Right.
I grew up in Penacuna.
Right.
But so proud of that lady, that what she's telling there, that history. It makes me feel so proud. I have to call in because I went to a seminar and they tell us we have to know our history. And we have to find you have to find out some relative that would be able to tell me the history. And I went to one of my relatives. My grandmother came from Africa. My grandfather came from Africa. And they were ascended in St. Mary's. And they used to have different, they used to call them not Shango, not Baptist. It was Meringians. They used to be dancing, African dance there. And in Moruga, she was talking about, I'm skipping it, she was talking about owning property. My grandfather was working on an estate and he became the owner of the estate, planting coffee and cocoa. And he lives off of that. He never buy food, always plant their own food. That is what the Morugan people is doing. And my relatives, they never rent any house. Every one of my family build their own house. I tell you, African people have a lot of history and they don't know how to get through in life, to get things in their way. They always want. I say the government, all the government passed through here. I thank the government for all what they do, but I never depended on the government. I always try to make myself a better person. My children, I try to educate them and to make them be able to know that they must be independent.
All right.
All
right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Pastor Google, due all respect to you, good afternoon. Pastor Google, you cannot call that young lady an auntie. If you want to be sure a lot of respect, you could say sister, my black sister, my African sister. You know, Pastor Google, I love you. So you could call her sister. That I know auntie you see sitting down there. You see how that lady looking at her? This is Miss Indian Walk speaking here. She know me well. Okay? Pastor Google, good afternoon again. There you go. We have one of them. Okay? She could go up from Moruga table and Pastor Google. This woman have it. Okay? But all the Prime Minister need to do is to put in her hand deed of comfort to give to all the people that all have land in Moruga tableland and don't have a deed. Put deed of comfort in this woman's hand and let her give it out to these people, parents who were slave all them years and have land, people steal it from them, you know, whatever they have now, let the Prime Minister put in a hand deed of comfort to give to these people. Okay, Pastor Google?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Pastor Google and your speaker there is good afternoon. When she referred to where you come from and the churches, I remember my great-grandfather, whoever started a book, they put from the date he was born, 1843, my grandfather, 1860, the names when they born, when they christened and when they died and all like that. I have the book. And also a lady had given me a book, a cookery book called Old Salem Cookery, where the Moravians left Germany in Moravia and arrived at, I'm reading it at Besselbaro in November 1753. And, you know, I have things on the older the settlers in those days. I have books on Crusoe's Isles in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, and Melancholy Isle by Douglas Archibald. She may know some of those authors. And Woodcock, book History of Tobago by Henry Isles Woodcock. So I have what she's talking there about. I agree with her. I know some of those past history things and the dance and the bakings and the cooking and the traditions and all like that we have, where they came from. Okay? I know you don't have much time, so I can't go into much. But you have those books and
Thank you very
about
much.
old Salem cooking, you know.
Yeah.
When they arrive in America, the places that they were in and all of that. Okay then.
All right. Thank you very much. You know any of the books that she's referring to?
A couple of them, yeah.
You know some of them? All right.
From researching, from spending time in the library.
Yeah.
The library is a good place to be, you know.
Wow. I know that people are sitting and they're taking note of some of the information that you're giving, because I sometimes you know, I know that you all have a celebration that you all celebrate every year, and sometimes that's the only time people might hear about the history.
We call it Heritage Day.
Heritage Day.
20th of August. Annually, because it's the 20th is the date that the majority of us arrive.
Okay.
So, with the pandemic, we weren't able to do anything for the past 2 years. But
this year,
yes, most definitely.
You invited me?
Yes, you are, and there are different organizations that represent the American community: American Heritage Foundation, American Commission, American Inc. In fact, American Heritage Foundation is having an American cookout on Saturday.
Where?
Indian Walk. By the old Indian Walk Government School compound, where you will come in and get traditional food. That will be on sale. They will also do American Heritage Market.
What time is that on Saturday?
Saturday morning, our lunches will be from 12. But we have members of the community, because they plant, because they're into agriculture, they sell on specific days for the month, like every other Saturday. And this Saturday coming, will
they be selling the rice?
Yes, we'll be selling rice.
Why you saying if we like you will be there?
I plan to be there, yes. I plan to be there and lend support.
Okay.
I tell people I'm a member of all groups because I'm American full stop.
I hear you. 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 771-1791, and 466-5391. And take some of your calls. If you have any questions that you want to ask, if you have anything you want to add, anything that you think I may have missed out, that you would want to know, the opportunity is given to you now to call in and ask. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Google and your guest. Google, I would appreciate if that learned guest of yours could kindly give me her number. I have a relative who is married to an Atwater, and I have been trying to locate them for some while, but you know, I am in a wheelchair. I am not able to go about to the places she suggested. So I wonder whether she would be able to help me with any little phone information, because I did come across one of them by the name of Henry Correa and Peter Correa. I don't know if she knows those names, but perhaps if she would kindly speak with me, I'd appreciate it. Okay?
You want her number?
Yeah.
Yes, please, if she would kindly give it to me.
No. I would give her your number.
Okay, 628.
What?
I'm in Port of Spain.
0015.
How will you know it?
Don't worry, we will chat.
Boy, your line is the hardest line, but that lady is quite knowledgeable, and I admire her. You know, and she speaks more fluently than fluent.
Thank you very much.
It hasn't any. Is that your aunt?
Yes.
It doesn't have anything that she's leaving out or forgetting. But I too am interested, because for quite some years, it's a brother of mine actually. And as I say, I'm a Port of Spain person, and I never went anywhere to the south or anywhere, so I really don't know the places, you know. Okay. And now that I am incapacitated,
yes,
I really physically, but my brain going a mile a minute.
Don't worry, she will call you and you all will chat, right?
Okay, darling.
Right,
Thank you so much. God bless both of you.
All right.
Okay, darling.
All right,
bye.
bye-bye.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. That lady knew exactly what she's talking about. And this is what I always say. Most Afro-Trini don't know the history. Especially the people who born and grew up past the Caroni Bridge into Port of Spain East-West Corridor. The history of Afro-Trini, you have to go down south, Moruga. I was born in a place they call Whiteland. I don't know if the lady know about there. And I could have checked every East Indian they had in that community, also in Moruga. As a little boy, my father used to drive a water truck. They didn't know pipe-borne water in Moruga. And I went all over Moruga with my father with this water truck, delivering water to people in Moruga. And the people always had food. They plant a lot of food in Moruga. My great-grandmother, they are American. I saw a picture of my grandmother. My great-grandmother wearing African outfit. So Afro-Trinidad got to know the history, and this is what I told a lot of people from Port of Spain side, go down to south, and then you'll know your history. Most of the people in those communities, they was paying the estate or whatever, tax, a rent, $2, $4 a month, where they build a house on the land. And they never try to get ownership of these land. And this is the problem with Afro-Trinidad. They pay a rent on the land, they build a house, and they just keep living until nothing belongs to them. So this lady knows what she's talking about. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. You know, we were talking about that off air, where I told you that I would have done a little research and found out that some of my grandparents' family would have left Moruga and came up to Belmont to live, right? And then some of them, when the family started to get bigger, they left Belmont and went Gasparilla, Caratal to be exact.
Okay.
So you're smiling, Auntie. I do my thing, Auntie. You feel I do. You
should. A good interviewer should know something about the subject matter before.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Your family to Lisa.
You know this lady, you know.
Lisa Bobcom.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Lisa Bobcom.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
Clarice Western.
You are?
Clarice Western.
Okay, then. Yes, Clarissa.
Well, that is Lisa. One of you, I said, but this is Lisa. I hear talking and know you, Lisa.
Yes, I am.
So Pastor Google, you is family to Brad Manning then?
Have a good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, we Baba later.
Have a good afternoon, ma'am. Saying that, after looking at the documentary that I sent you, I realized that Miss Hazel Manning, is a descendant from the Americans.
Yes, she is. Her father is Alfred Boise Huggins, the author of Saga of the Companies.
Right. So, rich history, boy. Rich history. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. After poured out the history is like a tree without roots. Miss Ma'am, you're a princess, you're a philosopher, educator. Just that wonderful and excellent job you are doing. I hope that it will resound like into, long time it had school broadcasting and it had this program where they giving you history about different parts of Trinidad and Tobago, something like that. You should be having a program like that on the radio, on the television, making sure that people get to know their history. And I would like to know, the people in Liberia, are you all related also, if you understand what I'm saying? Because the pumpkin vine has run long. The few of us are showing you, people in Liberia. And ma'am, keep up the good work. Make sure that whatever is wanted by the Americans, please ask the government to do their best to supply. Thank you very much, and I enjoyed this conversation. I would Pastor Google. I don't know if you can invite this lady a little more often. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon, sir. My auntie working. She's working. Auntie, you want to answer the question?
I said many years ago. Which question?
The one with
school broadcast or relatives?
The both. Because the school broadcast, where a long time they used to tell all of us to sit down and they used to have a radio in the school and they used to broadcast. Do they still do that?
No, they don't, but that's a good idea. Unfortunately for us, probably in our haste to move to, and I'm putting it back into
first world status. In quotation marks, probably in our haste
to move to first world status or to copy some of the things that we see going on outside where education is concerned. We may have lost some things that we now have to revisit. That we may have to revisit. That's in the first instance. In the second instance, he asks about relatives, and one of the points I've always made is that I could talk for Sable at Water. I knew where he came from and well, we are the end product. But perhaps Sable may have had a brother or a sister that did not make that journey, that stayed on in Virginia or North Carolina or wherever. And it speaks to us probably having relatives, I'm sure, having relatives who would have had a different history to ours and who may be out there. And that could be an area of research where we undertake to find relatives.
Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Hi.
And your guest, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Pastor Google, I listen to this lady and my cause the reason, but that is history, but trust me, that the lady making a statement like I've seen it in front of me, certain things for the little time on the face of the earth. This woman of history, but long time they really used to have that, but they only given a little piece of Dr. Equal and more the big bully and them across the history, more the big bully and the white man and this have to come back and have to go through, that have to put in the school, in the curriculum. That way, African people can know their history.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That is what this government is supposed to be doing since it took up 2015.
I hear you. Thank
you.
you.
Don't let the opposition and come and change the program. That was and them doing that. Because them know the history.
Yeah.
And they're trying to flush us out, bury us, our history.
Okay. Auntie, why isn't this in the curriculum?
I know there was a conversation to make sure and include local history
in the curriculum.
In our curriculum. I even attended a meeting at Learning Resource Center about 3 years ago. The discussion was started, but since then, well, we could use the excuse of the pandemic. But it should not have been 3 years ago. This should have been a long time ago. It's important that we know where we come from and not just the American community, but all of Trinidad and Tobago, to build a sense of pride in who we are.
Well, Auntie, the books is there, the history is there.
Yes, but it is not it is not everyday
What do we have to do? Yep. All right. So tell me,
this is an excellent step.
Right, but here what I want to do. What do we have to do? How do we lobby for this to be? My son must be able to know his rich history.
Well, I guess, as you just said, lobbying.
Lobbying and good afternoon, Pastor.
Yes, caller.
You post up my private number on the television and expose it to criminals, and you hiding behind Jesus, you're saying? Well, as a Hindu.
You calling? Well, how you call, sir? It shows up. I don't understand. Nobody don't know who you are. Nobody don't care about who you are. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Papa. Auntie there. You know, I was watching when the picture now came up. Oh, then kind of resemblance, and then everything was revealed.
Oh, you was saying how we have resemblance.
Yes, boy.
Yeah.
But she feels like a magistrate, boy, but I like her. I love to, and that has scared me. Oh, nice.
Say it again. Say it again.
She feels like a magistrate, also a judge. That don't frighten me, yeah. Yeah, that's not. What she's very learned person in truth. And what she's speaking about is true, because Papa G early check it out what's taking place is that the brains of the youth are being programmed with fresh rubbish to make them be thinking a certain manner, because the chronology of our development and our history is not there. So what she's saying is very serious. What I'm saying is that we don't have to lobby for anything else. What I'm saying is that we have to stop turning to the government and just let us unite and do what we have to do, even if it's a session in an advertised session in a community center. See how people react at first, and then see if we can do it once a month, then see if we can do it twice a month. We have to stop kind of having, I don't want to call it dependence to make it look like if you lobby for support, it's a wrong thing. No, I don't mean that. I mean we could overpower the bureaucracy that has taken place with lobbying and just let us advertise it in terms of this is where we want to go, and maybe the lobby will come after if we persist to develop it without that assistance. It's not in a negative way, Papa G. So, I am impressed, and memory really is part of humanity's problem. Memory is part of the African people problem, in terms of if you keep forgetting what you went through, you wouldn't be able to avoid it, because you go and run straight into it because you forget you handled it before and got results. Oh, you handle it, you understand? So everything making sense. Have a good day, Pastor Google. Enjoying the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and I'm all for us taking the initiative to do what we can with our collective memory in this space to ensure that future generations know their story.
Well, he are not judge.
And build on their legacy. Build on our legacy.
You're not judge, Julie. I invited you again. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Caller. All right, you're not there.
You hear me?
Hello? All right.
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah, hearing you. This other caller not ready.
All right. I just wanted to touch on what our last caller just said, and it's a very true statement. And I feel the way just this very morning refer to what is happening in Ukraine, to point out to people of color that those who don't insist on knowing their history are doomed to repeat it. Right? I don't want to get into what I'm talking about specifically because it will change the conversation, but we as people of color need to remember, not just know, but remember our history and know how to avoid situations before it happens.
Yeah, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. And in the same breath, while I acknowledge the positives of having an African History Month, I will always advocate for African history every day. And each community's history every day. It's important that we understand our groundings, for want of a better word, but I think that grounding is the first thing that comes to mind at this time, and that we build within our psyche and our children's psyche the importance of what our ancestors would have endured. The very fact that you and I are sitting here, Kevin, it means that our ancestors would have done something correct.
Yeah.
We like to throw the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
We like to think of us being now civilized in 2022 or 2000 or 2015, when we are the product of people who not only endured but survived and thrived.
Yes.
And we have a responsibility. You mentioned your son just now. We have a responsibility to ensure that we do right by this generation and the generations to come.
Yep. Well, good afternoon, last caller. Hello? Caller? What it is this? Hello? Hello, caller? You want to answer a question?
I'm reading on the chat.
Yeah.
Tamu Bamboo saying that they cannot get Moga Hill rice outside. It is available, and I will send the link to you, Cohen.
Yeah.
so that people can buy.
Them fellas are on the agenda, you know.
Okay then. I just noticed that.
Good afternoon to Pastor Google and the guest. I think this is probably the ripe and right time that we can revisit Dr. Rowley's manifesto of 2015 general election, where he talked about having proper education and our proper history being taught in the schools. I think this is the right and ripe time to introduce that. Well done, ma'am. Congratulations to you. Keep up the good work. Okay? Take care and God bless.
Thank you. Last caller. Good afternoon.
Pastor Google, I had to do and them kids. Let's go with that.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Something I wanted to talk about a long time. I've spoken to a few people about it, but nobody bothered with me. Where the honeycomb is in St. Joseph, where they're building houses. So the back, from the main road, if you look direct, you will see an old building. That building was a prison for women of slaves when they bring the people here. When I went and visited that building years ago, it had all the chain and big something to keep the chain on your foot. And the chains wasn't long. I don't know what it had there. The building's still there. They're building all these houses around. But that building's still there. I would really like for somebody to do some history on it and see what it is what's there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google, and to your lovely guest. I am thankful for the little information that she is giving us about our history. Pastor Google, I love history. Pastor Google, I'm always saying that African history should be taught in school from a primary school level all the way up, because some of our people, generation, you know, the youths of today and all who are being misled on a wrong path, don't know where they're from, where they want to go. And by listening to this history, this piece of history here, Pastor Google, I think will change some of the youth's mindset. I always ask about family, and I'm now getting to know some of my family roots, right? Because I was told that my great grandfather, some African, was he was in Barbados and then came to Trinidad, and you know it takes so knowing our history, especially Black history, is a good thing, and I believe it should be taught in school from primary school.
Right, so Auntie, we have to close off. I want to thank you very much for being with me today. And no, I catch you, you know. I tell you 1 hour. Look, I keep you here. Look how long I keep you here. I want to thank you very much, Auntie, and I'm going to invite you back. People are asking for you to come back, and people are interested in the conversation. And we're going to find a way to lobby to get this in schools. So we're going to use this platform. All right? That's a start? So I want to thank you again.
You're most welcome.
Were you happy? Were you comfortable?
Oh, yes, I was.
No, you see, you never treat you so bad. It's so thought I would have put you up and make you feel, no, Auntie. You see another side of me today.
Yes, I did. Professional side, and I'm glad that I took up the invitation. You know, initially I was a little
scared, yeah.
But I'm glad. History and information is no good if you put it in a bottle and lock it away.
Yeah.
We need to share it, and I'm all part of the process of sharing our rich heritage and building on it. And being grateful to the ancestors for bringing us thus far. So,
thank you again, Auntie. God bless. So, Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to hear more from her, all right? And from time to time, if she can't come in, I'm going to get her on Zoom or on the phone from time to time. But we're going to hear more from her, especially about this rich history. God bless. Bye-bye.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Simpsons Memorial Limited, number 63 Eastern Main Road, Laventille.
internationally accredited funeral directors and embalmers. A full-service funeral home serving families of Trinidad and Tobago and internationally since 1945. At Simpson's Memorial Limited, we serve with dignity in assisting families and honoring the memory of their loved ones. Our services include professional funeral and pre-planning, burials and cremation, custom-built and imported caskets, coffins and cremation trays, cemetery management, limousines, mourners cars, grief counseling, web streaming of funerals, fully air-conditioned chapel with live musical accompaniment, full global shipping and receiving of loved ones. We specialize in facial restorations. Call us anytime, day or night, at 623-8688. That number again is 623-8688. Simpsons Memorial Limited. Superior service, always with excellence.
Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring.
It's all about the fastest growing reggae show in the land without a doubt. Right here on the shit 919 FM. Each and every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with yours truly, MC Duke, alongside Selector Kochi. So make it a date and don't be late. Rock and come in, so line up, link up, creep up. You don't know reggae rock each and every Sunday. Salute, God am away, King Selassie.
Hi, I'm Valentine Garcia.
And I'm Nikki Garcia.
Please join us on the Final Hour broadcast every Thursday at 9 a.m. on the Street 919 FM radio.
Every week, we will journey into the amazing Word of God. So please join us.
See you then.
Patrice again. I go drink blue water and mind my business. I go drink blue water and mind my business. Who me? I only drink one brand. Blue water inside the house and the barn. When I need to hydrate, I drink blue water. I'm feeling great. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue water. That's the number one brand. Drink blue water and mind my business. I go drink blue water and mind my business. Me and you join in the blue water crew. The taste, the vibe, blue water is the truth. When the hot sun come, I drink blue water to cool me down. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue water. That's the number one. I go drink blue water and mind my business.
Carnival, come back. Me say you wake up in the morning and you just realize Carnival come back again. Alright, maybe that isn't 100% true, but hear this. TSB and T-Dub Sided alongside IWER George presents Carnival Come Back. Take back girl. Take back riding girl. Carnival Monday, not good again.
This is IWER George, a big boss of the business. Carnival Monday, the 28th, 3 p.m. Queenspark Savannah. Carnival Come Back.
3 p.m. Carnival Monday, Queenspark Savannah. People, young brother, I'm gonna be there live and live DJ until we come in town.
Shake it properly.
People, you need vaccination on entry.
Come out in your Monday wear. Come out with your team from 3 p.m. till. Get your female tickets started at $220 and male tickets at $250 with food inclusive. Get those tickets online at suntix.com. Also, book your cabanas. $2,000 for groups of 9 with coolers and food inclusive. All this happening at the Queenspark Savannah. Carnival, come back.
Turn on the station, feel the rhythm, we go loud, we go loud. Turn on the station, feel the rhythm, we go loud, we go loud.
Keep the radio pumping with the Go Loud app. Once the DJ start mix, the lines start. Listen to your favorite local radio stations live from your mobile device or run a mix from the hottest DJs in the Caribbean, all on the app. Turn on the station, we go loud. Download the Go Loud app today. Available for Apple and Android devices. Digicel, better together.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Heal Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monterey Post.
Tune in to The Street 919 FM every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to listen to the live Temple of Restoration, Pastor Curlin and the team. The Temple of Restoration is located at number 12 Endeavor Road, Chaguanas, opposite the Curab taxi stand. For more information, contact 488-4413 or 777-8691. The Temple of Restoration, where Jesus changes lives.
Shop at New City Mall and check out our premium selection of high-quality clothing and accessories for men and women. Save on all items with competitive prices and courteous service throughout the entire mall. New City Mall is located in the heart of Port of Spain with entrances at 3 Charlotte Street and number 41 Independence Square. We offer a variety of shirts, long and short sleeve, round and V-neck tops, vests, caps, hats, sunglasses, briefs, boxers, shorts, swim trunks, denim, jeans, long and 3/4, socks.